Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We're gonna check out some more Rich games, at least a couple more. He did play against Speed a couple times lately, which is kind of fun because they're like, you know, Speed is generally one of the top players on ladder, so is Rich. Speed was not top of ladder like super recently, if you're watching this right around when it came out, just because he was having a little bit of wrist issues. You know, the guy plays at like 400 APM all game and plays more games than basically anyone, so it kind of makes sense. You know, you're pushing yourself that hard. So he did have to take a little bit of a break from the ladder. But Speed is still in really good shape for Terran vs. Protoss. In fact, in the most recent KCM Race Survival Series, you know, he, in the playoffs against Protoss, he was utilized as the Terran Ace. And in case you haven't seen that, I won't completely spoiler it for you, but you know, if you're watching this now, it's been out for a while. So yeah, anyways, he's in very good shape in TVP. I think he plays a very nice TVP right now. He's pretty aggressive, pretty vulture oriented. Definitely has some nifty builds. So watching him against Rich, you know, I feel bad sometimes when you see a game like that against Flash where it's like, well, what could he have done? The thing is, Flash is such a different level. So I'm excited to see, like, okay, Rich, we're putting you... This isn't the best Terran vs. Protoss player, but without question, Speed is top 5. Without question, he's top 5 TVP. In fact, I would say that the problems he gives Protoss, I would put him, like, as far as aggressive Terrans go, he's probably the best aggressive Terran against Protoss right now. Sharp is oftentimes aggressive, but I actually think that Speed is a little bit better at the matchup right now. I kind of feel that way. I mean, I love Sharp, but I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say, but that's why I'm kind of like hemming and hawing on it. You know, I think Light is probably better. Flash is probably better. Maybe Rush. I always like Rush's TVP, but yeah, Speed is right around there. So let's see. We're on Metropolis. You know, the 4-player map. I haven't seen this map as much lately, but cross-spawn scout here without even a Nexus first from Rich. So when you see something like this, it really has to do with... It's not to scout the center. Like, you'll see Zergs do this to scout center specifically because, you know, center Raxing is very strong against them. But the reason to do it is because you can use completely different builds against cross-spawn Terran. Like, generally, you want to expand a lot quicker against cross-spawn Terran because they can't do anything about it. The travel distance is too much. Now, this is hilarious. Why is Speed cross-scouting? He might just know Rich so well that he's like, yeah, let's go do that. Yeah, and he's just going to get up here and be like, yeah, a Nexus, okay. Oh, okay, you know what? I think that's why he did cross scout, is because he's actually going 2-fact. Well, I did say that he's like one of the best aggressive Terrans. But 2-factory cross spawn. He'll probably change his build because of this. I would say Vulture Speed is going to be completely key. I don't know that he would get it first. I think you probably have to get Mines first. Yeah, second add-on. That makes sense to me. Now, the 3 Marines have to zone this out completely. Didn't get close enough to see if there's Nexus or a command center. If you see there's no command center, Speed's basically dead. Oh, whoops. Yeah, see, he hasn't gotten close enough yet. Good micro there from Speed. Okay, so what Speed is doing here, this is the classic 2-factory build. The classic 2-factory build is 3 Siege Tanks, Speed, and Mines, and that's how you play it. Okay, now, Rich might be feeling what this is. And he's normally a 3-gate Observer player, but that's going to be probably his best chance at holding this anyways. So, yeah, on this particular build, like, you can cut more SCVs to get more Marines, and it becomes completely all in. And he's only got 4 Marines, so he didn't super cut, but you can see, you know, obviously his worker production is not nonstop here. It's going to bring in SCV as well. And obviously speed and mines both on the way. So he has to just get as many vultures as quickly as possible across the map. So what you're going to do is you're just going to put the Marines and SCV in front of the tanks. You're going to push in, push the Dragoons back, and hopefully get the game super messy and start laying mines everywhere. Even though it's 3-gate Observer, there's good potential for speed to still win with this build. If you get this Nexus, you're generally going to win the game. It's pretty hard for Protoss to pull back up the ramp and then win against 2-fact. It's not completely impossible, though. Okay, here come the probes. That's a really good choice. It's a really good choice. He realizes that this is a 2-factory, basically all in. You can lose a lot of probes here. It's more about keeping the Nexus alive than keeping the probes alive. Okay, he has the Observer out. Good micro so far here, but this is where speed really gets good, is laying mines. And, oh, he sacks a goon. That's so smart. That's so good. Ooh, a mine actually hit there and put speed back into it. I was going to start calling his death, but, yeah, he actually gets a lot of extra damage on those Dragoons. You can see him offensively laying the mines here. He snipes that 1 Dragoon. 3 more should be popping out now. So I think he's basically held. Siege mode is about to finish. Oh, he's going to go behind the minerals and try siege mode. I don't know if that works. The really good mine lays, because you're going to have to clear those before hitting the tank. And that's going to get the tank like an extra couple hits. Lays that extra mine there. This is perfectly controlled by speed at this point. But he's just way outnumbered. Like that was exactly as good as you could have done with that. Oh my god. The mine hits. He's so good in these chaotic mine situations. Okay, let's take stock of where we're at and who's actually ahead. So looking down at Speed's base, he's back on creating SCVs. His command center's halfway done. He's up 5 workers. We should get non-stop double probe production from Rich from here on out. Now, Rich has some choices to make. I don't think you try to do a big attack. I think what you do here is you get enough Dragoons that you're kind of like holding on against Vulture. You clear and take a 3rd base as quickly as possible is my opinion on this. We'll see if he does that in just a second. But yeah, the non-stop probe production is incredibly important. You can see that they're equalized right around the same amount of workers. One of the problems with Speed's position here is you can't know for sure, like, oh, is he going to go Reaver, for instance? So you have to get anti-air. You just don't know. Like, you can be... I think you can blindly say no DT. That's just too absurd that he would be able to go DT here. So it's not like you have to rush to detection necessarily, but you have to be really cognizant of possible Reavers coming out. So you do have to defend against that. And in fact, Reaver tech is being made. Oh, the vultures. Oh! That snipe. He moved and body blocked the second vulture and targeted the first vulture and just barely got it. That was clutch as hell, because even one vulture with 5 health getting in here can get 4 or 5 probes. So that was a great block. That was a great block. Forge on the way. I think specifically he does want some cannons out. Speed's so good with those vultures. And 3rd Nexus getting started pretty quickly. He's going to start clearing the map a little bit as well. And yeah, over on Speed side, it's like, okay, we have to throw down a couple missile turrets. We have to get Goliath range, have a few Goliaths out. But look how late these factory ads are going to be. How does he get the 3rd base going quickly? Feels pretty good for Rich right now. Not 100% win, not like a free win from here, but Speed has to, I think, almost be creative with how he's going to try to come back in this game. Look at the amount of anti-air he's invested in. I was just thinking in my head there for a second. I'm like, is there a way that you can take a 3rd command center now? And I just couldn't quite come up with one. Because he was a little bit late adding these factors, right? So I'm like, is he thinking about taking a 3rd? And the problem is on Metropolis, everything's so wide. 2 factory is not going to, even with Goliath range and siege mode and a few missile turrets, you're not going to be able to completely zone out the Reavers well enough. And if you overbuild turrets and stuff, they just make another Nexus and you get far behind. So very, very tricky position. But I think on the 4 factory, he can probably do that. Let's take a look at what Rich is up to. No shuttle speed. This is, in my opinion, what we're seeing here. This is just like a safety check. He's like, okay, let's see. Oh, you are making Goliaths? Okay. Because when they're making Goliaths, it's like the odds of them attacking you goes down. Or it at least gets slowed, right? A couple more factories on the way. Yep, and if you look at the siege tank count, this is giving away that Speed wants to attack again. You would probably have slightly less siege tanks if you were going to expand. Like, you would not... Well, first off, you would not be making these 2 additional factories as well, but... yeah, when you're, like, front-loading the siege tank production, it's like, okay, that's going to be the backbone of my attack going forward. Okay, Rich sitting on 50 probes, going up to 8 gates. He already has his Citadel, legs a third of the way done. This is how you can tell Rich plays a lot in the ladder. I'm always talking about Zealot legs, and it's more oftentimes top pros that are missing Zealot legs than ladder Protosses. Ladder Protosses, no. It's like, no, they might attack me. You need to get Zealot legs. It's like the number one... You can almost just... It's like, okay, oh, he timing attacked him? No workers were killed at the beginning? Okay, well, did he have Zealot legs? That's all I need to know to tell you who won that game. Or close enough. Close enough, right? Okay, so pushing back that Reaver a little bit, but the Reaver is just here to slow. Oh, 2 DTs. This is actually really smart. Oh, that's really smart. Because, see, he sees that there's no third base. He's slowing him with Reaver, but he doesn't bother to invest in shuttle speed. Because it's like, yeah, he's going to have enough to roll through the Reaver anyways. I'm not Snow. So he's getting Zealot legs specifically and getting a couple DTs. He can utilize those with the shuttle or just on the ground. And you're already super taxed for detection. He's going to have 2 scans total. And he might even use one on an observer. You never know. Because, like, DTs are a weird call right now. Not many people do that. But that's going to really pay off for him. Good dismantling there. See this observer? Rich probably wants him to scan that. Woo! Catches that shuttle. Really nice catch. I think Rich is going to hold this no problem. But that is a lot of siege tanks. It's going to come down very heavily to the first engage. Like, Speed needs to rail the first engage. We heard another scan, so there's 1 scan left. But some mines being laid. Gets that Reaver really quickly. All right, here we go. DT leading the pack. DT gets in on top of everything. Scan goes off. Both DTs will be killed off. Gets the Zealots mostly on top of these siege tanks here. Dragoons still trying to fight. Still 3 siege tanks left and only 5 goons. He might be able to do this. He might be able to do this here. More Zealots coming out. Not a ton of mines here, but starts to lay some as these Zealots come down for the engage. Tanks picking off a lot of these Dragoons. Ooh, decent mine drag there. Ooh, this is not good for Rich. Yeah, he's trying to trade as well as he can with those Zealots, and a lot more Dragoons are coming out, but like this is the window that Terrans want, is where the Dragoons are not there, where they can set up. So he's going to go ahead and siege right next to this pylon. Dragoons trying to push out here. Really, the backbone of this push is 2 siege tanks at the moment, and Rich is diving on them as hard as you ever could. And that's... Oh, he gets 1 of them, but he's losing so many units to even get 1. Yeah, 2 more tanks coming up is going to make that even more of a heartache. If it was only vultures coming up, it's like, okay, maybe that was worth, but in this case, I don't know. I don't think so. Well, I do know. It's a no. And look at this. Speed just clogging this choke. It's well executed. Yeah, more DTs coming out, but unfortunately he already has that missile turret. Rich with a good economy, but it doesn't matter. He's, you know, he's trying to build up enough units to break it still. Like, he hasn't lost his probes yet, so I guess there's still, like, a tiny chance. I think if he had a shuttle to, like, come in from the other side, it would be a much higher chance. Yeah, that's not going to work. GG. Okay, you know, I think that there was a real opportunity here for Rich to win this game. I think he was doing all the right things, and Speed kind of outplayed him there. I want to jump back to as this push is moving out. Okay, hold on. Here's those 2 DTs being made. He pulls back. The shuttle's going to get picked here. Okay, so a couple things. Like right here. Okay, so obviously shuttle getting picked is painful. Notice how Speed is staying on the left side of these. These are like natural blockers for him. Those are going to make it harder for anything to engage on his siege tanks because they have far superior range. Just a couple notes on Rich's play. Because again, I think strategically, he did this really well, like with his choice of what to make. But tactically with his army, I think he was outplayed. So Speed immediately moved into the position he needed, which was behind all this stuff. First off, I think, again, strategically, the DTs were great. They should have instantly been sent out to sides. Send them out to sides, bring them in from behind, because you're not going to see a missile turret push across the whole map because he needs to get into position as quickly as possible. Okay, and I think that this army should have been out here like immediately. And of course, you still have to watch for vultures, make sure he's not like going to run those by, but overall, he's going to have to keep his units in a ball. And the thing is, he gave the engagement to Speed exactly how Speed wanted. Let's just take a look. See? He moves up here. He kind of makes an arc. There's other choices here. I know it looks tough, and it's like, oh, this is a really hard army to engage. But, for instance, Rich took his army that was here as this army was moving into position. He ran down here, and then he ran over here into an arc, and then he pulls back a little bit, and then he attacks. So he pulls back, and then he attacks right there. Okay? Now, instead of this... Again, the DTs, I think, should have already been out here. But let's ignore the DTs. I think he can still win without the DTs here. This is the problem. Okay? He shouldn't be afraid, really, of Speed trying to get into this position, I don't think. He's got the pylon walls. He's got the high ground. This is actually incredibly hard to push up a ramp like that. It's very slow. So I think what he should have done here is move the army to the south a bit. I think moving into this position, which is where Speed wanted the engagement, you're playing into his hands. So instead of running over there, let's say that he runs his army down. I feel like you have a lot more options because Speed can't just take his army and then make a beeline for up here. So if this army is instead here, Speed has these options. Move back and block this army. Move up and attack here. Or move into this area and try to attack the natural. Now, I think attacking the natural is the weakest because more units are coming out of the gates, and then you have a natural flank where this army comes back to the north, and the army that's coming out of the gates flanks, and it crushes this. It crushes it, not even close. Okay? If he moves up into this position, it's like, okay, this can become entrenched pretty quick, but this army here moves here and blocks reinforcements. And you have 8 gates. So over the course of a minute, you have 16 more zealots. Well, even more than that, right? Because they only take 25 seconds to make. And you have these pylons buying you time. I think that he should, like, if we resume from replay right here, or a couple seconds before here, and Rich tried out moving here, I think he's going to win most of the time. Let me know if you agree with that assessment or not. But I feel that to be accurate. I think he did a lot of things right here and just tactically didn't quite do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. I quite did. That was a fun game from Speed. He's such an aggressive Terran. It's really a pleasure. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.